And we're back for another week of Big Brother. And things are starting to get really good.
Very good.
But before we get to that, Kev, where can we find you?
At KevSoup on Twitter, kevsoup.com.
Awesome. And if you guys want to watch our interviews, click right here. This one is for Clay. People seem to really like that one a lot. So a lot happened this week, okay? A lot. And we have really good segments. But you know what? We're all pressed for time here because it's getting to the end of the Big Brother season. And there's almost too much to talk about.
Yes.
So, Kev, what happened this week?
Well, we're going to be getting into our best and worst and our stock tips here in a minute. A little bit of lawyer up. But first, since we saw you guys last, Liz was the HOH. She was targeting Steve and Johnny Mac, and she was really going hard at Johnny Mac, wanting to get him out of the house.
And I was heartbroken because of that, because I didn't want Johnny Mac to go. Things are different now.
Yes, things have changed, but at the time he was inconsolable. I mean, he was
there was
tissues and I was having to just clean clean your face, and it was bad. It was bad.
I wrote a letter to CBS. Hopefully he got it. I don't know if he did or not.
He was crying, and then he saw Zingbot, so he was laughing. The ups and downs were crazy. Zingbot was zinging people in the house left and right, some pretty good ones.
Really good zings.
Some good zings.
You know what? Zingbot actually zinged me too.
He got you.
And I'll show you guys right here. It's pretty good, and I got to admit, he was kind of right. But you know what?
Hey,
I enjoyed my 2 weeks, okay? Exactly. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, easy you too.
Yeah,
you and Zingbot, official Zingbot out there. But, they had essentially the Zingbot veto, and Vanessa killed the Zingbot veto.
Yeah,
right
she
there.
did.
She destroyed
and by the way, I always thought about this. If you did this in real life, would you be able to identify my nose?
That was tough, I thought.
I thought
it was tough.
Kev, no offense.
Even Meg couldn't pick out her face.
Her own nose!
Her own face.
If I saw your teeth, all right, on a picture, on a billboard, I don't know if I would, I think that the beard would give it away, But if Kylie's eyes, I would know those. That's the
my teeth, Kylie's eye. You're building some sort of bizarre road. Hopefully that person's
genetic
never
cross kind of thing,
never created,
or else it would actually turn into a Murray episode. Kev, this is so weird, but my kid, he's got your nose.
Yeah,
this is so bizarre.
You are not the father.
No!
Don't worry about that. Yeah. But
Zing.
I think Vanessa's the one person that maybe could pick out my teeth and Kylie's nose because she killed this competition.
She murdered it.
She ended up leaving the noms the same. And we had Steve and Johnny Mac on the block.
How
about the speech by Steve? He kind of came out of nowhere and delivered one of the best speeches of the summer.
Really good. For someone who is a self-proclaimed nerd trombonist who loves his mother, he did a great job public speaking, which apparently is actually one of the most feared things in the United States.
It is.
People actually
that in heights.
Some people prefer
if he was doing it off a tower, then it would be even more amazing.
He nailed it. I think he must have rehearsed.
I'm sure he did.
That's
I'm sure everybody back in is it Governor? Is that the name of the place he's from? With the mayor that has a suit 2 sizes too big. I'm coming at you hard, Mayor. Because
you're zinging him.
You got to get a suit that fits you.
Zing.
But yeah, it was a great speech, and I don't know how much the speech helped them. It seemed like the house was made up, or the minds were already made up because we had Johnny Mac unanimously evicted.
Yep.
Stepped out of the house, and then Julie's like, go right back inside.
And he was so, there was so much energy with him, and you could tell, and then as soon as Julie said, you're going to get another chance to go back in, he instantly lit up. It was like, life again.
It was funny just how, just calm, and he's like, yeah, I don't know, we'll see. Maybe I can get back in the house, but if not, whatever. People were clawing an opportunity to get back, but he's like, I don't know, we'll see what happens.
Can we talk about that really quickly?
Yes.
Because, in the actual comp itself, all the other juror members, it looked like they just fell off. They were just
well,
whatever.
Here's the interesting thing about the Disneyland comp is what they were calling it. It seemed like for the edit, CBS spent the entire comp telling the audience how hard it was.
Yeah.
Because people were falling off left and right, so I think they were like, whoa, people are going to think this is really easy.
Yeah.
So they were cutting DR after DR of this is so hard. I could barely hold on. Yeah, my feet were falling.
Twins were my arms are burning, so I stepped down.
Yeah. My arm fell off. My leg, they were just...
Yeah.
Because it did look pretty easy. They had the hand they would run into, but people were dropping like flies on that.
That was the one comp that I was actually in the first comp of my season where I hung on to the
How hard is
that? That one was actually really hard, but we were up there for 4.5 hours. I don't know how much time eclipsed, but they had a little platform to stand on.
I know.
But
Nick, you have to keep one foot on the platform. It's so difficult. But yeah, they were spending the whole time telling us how hard it was, and I was surprised that they did an endurance comp for all the jurors to get back in the house. I was expecting this was going to be a 3 or 4 episode deal where the jurors refused to let go and they just kept dropping off.
Yeah. They need to do something like you hold out a milk jug, right? You have to like hold it out.
The shortest comp ever.
Yeah, and go. Everyone's out.
If they did a bunch of those, they'd literally be able to do a whole season in one episode because people would last like 2 seconds with that. But then
Then you have to drink it, the whole thing.
Yeah, it was down to Johnny Mac and Vanessa. You know, Vanessa's telling Johnny Mac he's safe based on their conversation.
He does not believe her.
He doesn't believe her, but it did seem like, I don't know if it was the editing. It seemed like he did kind of drop after.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know if it was the editing, but shortly after that conversation, he did drop.
It was in a situation, and I can relate. Again, this is one of the comps that I was actually in, and McRae offered me a similar deal. He said, "Hey, look, you're safe," and I was pretty tired anyways. And I thought, how much longer can I really go?
Yeah.
And I thought, I'm gonna slip, fall, maybe we'll see. And then I actually did slip and fall, and then I thought, well, hey, no, like it worked in my favor. Like,
Yeah.
Did you slip? Yes.
Yeah,
of
I
course.
slipped on purpose because of our deal.
100%. Yeah, you and me for life. Duh.
Yeah, and then we had Vanessa, like we said, ultimately win it. She, it seemed like it was kind of all up for grabs in terms of her nomination. She wasn't sure. Maybe she's going to Austin and the Twins.
Everyone was scared except for Johnny Mac. Everyone was like, I don't know, she might flip. And then, the Twins and Austin were like, yeah, it's cool. Wait a minute, is that cool? Like, everyone's just freaked out now.
Yeah, Johnny Mac's so used to being on the block that
Yeah.
it seems like he's like, maybe I'll be up, maybe I won't be. But ultimately, it seems like Vanessa's getting a strong alliance with Steven and Johnny Mac, trying to even out the numbers, flip the house. Ultimately nominates James and Meg for eviction here.
Wow.
Yeah, which, was kind of a double blindside from what it seemed like from the way James and Meg reacted. So it looks like she's going pretty hard at them, but who knows? I mean, Austin, I think, is still a target.
Gotta say, last week, I was like very, not pro Vanessa, but now that she's working with J-Mac, now I'm super pro Vanessa, only in favor.
Yeah, I've been singing her praises all summer. We've had a little bit, we've had many conversations on here where I've said she's playing the best game. You gotta give her respect, and I think
she is playing the best game. I'll admit it. She's playing the best game. I'm just a J-Mac fan, so I just gotta go in favor of.
He's in a good spot right now. We got James and Meg on the block. We'll see what happens, but it's going to be an exciting week.
Oh yeah. This segment is our best and worst. So some of the best gameplays, some of the best moments, and some of the worst gameplays and worst moments. So I'm going to go ahead and start it off.
Do it.
This is when Zingbot exposes poor homeboy up there, Austin, about having a girlfriend.
Zingbot knows all. Like, social media, he was there with those giant robotic fingers banging it out on social media, figuring out he did have a girlfriend. It's crazy.
I'm really big on Twitter, right? So I look at it probably every 4 minutes. I really I like to know what's going on all the time inside the Big Brother house, right? And I saw this tweet come up a long time ago about Austin might have a girlfriend, but you never know. You never really know the personal details. Sure enough, definitely has a girlfriend. Liz does not react well with this.
No.
Talk about being in the hot seat. Yikes.
I'm surprised that CBS or Austin, it seemed like Liz knew based on the way she reacted, but we didn't know as the audience.
Right.
So this was a zing towards everybody, really. And then, she didn't react very well to it. Obviously, of course.
It's this emoji.
And Liz, it's a good one. And Liz, what are you doing? It's not like Austin is this catch where you've got to bypass. But, 2 or 3 episodes later, Austin sits down in the HOH room, asked her officially to be his girlfriend. And I believe his quote was like, "You're now finally my boo."
Wow.
which is ridiculous. That's what every girl wants to hear when she's a little girl.
Now you didn't use that line on your girlfriend,
I know.
That's how I got Kylie. I was like... You are officially my boo.
Officially my boo.
Right?
Yeah, but just, it was awkward, and then she says yes, and it looked like the whole him having a girlfriend thing, and then she was like, yeah, well, he better break up with that other girl when we get out of the house. Like, we're on The Bachelor all of a sudden here. It's so bizarre.
Here's a rose for you.
I totally agree. That was definitely one of the worst moments.
Yeah, definitely.
Start things out. I've got another worst for us.
Sure, yep.
And I like how we're starting with our worst
this
time. We might as well get right to it. We're so many choices. Worst was James and Meg agreeing to be pawns. At any point of the season, that the whole expression, the pawn always goes home, especially when there's a handful of people left in the house, and you are literally crying and fighting with each other. No, Nick, I want to be the pawn.
No. I will do it for you. I will do it.
That's Meg, right?
Yeah. Well, that's her acting skill. She's from New York.
Yeah. No, they're fighting back and forth, and Meg is crying, and they're both pleading with Vanessa to essentially go home because she's trying to put them up on the block and targeting them.
I will take this one. I will take the hit. You are gorgeous, Meg.
And then it was even worse because after that scene, they went down and they were like, I think we killed that right there. I think that was great right there. She totally...
Performance, I'm going to get an Emmy for this. Like, we nailed it.
She liked the tears. I think she's really
She
on
bought
board.
it.
We're not a target at all.
Yeah.
Turn the key. Both of your faces are up there. What are you doing? Another one of the worst moments.
Oh, my gosh. Okay, so here's the last worst moment for the week. And this is Steve just 100% being like porridge when it comes to Vanessa.
Man.
He just absolutely falls apart and is just has no backbone.
Should we do a little just quick improv?
We should.
I'll be Steve. You want to be Vanessa?
That sounds
or
great.
You want to switch
That sounds great.
Okay.
So, Steve, tell me about the alliance you've been working on for the last 5 weeks, starting with April 14th. We weren't in the house yet, but what were you thinking?
I'm just...
No! Tell me what you were thinking! I can't deal with this. I can't deal with this. You're going home.
I'm not putting things together.
You're going home. You're going to self-evict now.
I'm not putting things
Self-evict.
my head
Evict.
together.
You're self-evicting. If you're not self-evicting, I'm evicting you.
I'm not
You're done. Bye.
things together in my head right. It's pretty good,
That
actually.
was great.
That was very good.
We're pretty
Yeah, Steve, get a backbone, buddy. You're playing Big Brother. I mean, he's just he turns into this. He shrivels up. He turns into this tiny little version of Steve. Anytime Vanessa's going around.
Yeah, we saw a very strong Steve at some point in time, and we're just not seeing it right now. So that's one of the worst.
Although if that was what Vanessa's like in the house, I'm feeling that a little. I might have to take a break and go cry a little bit now. She's coming hard at people.
Now that I think about it, it's pretty fun to play that. Maybe I would have been friends with her.
So those were our worst moments there in the house.
Do we have best?
We gotta come up with them.
Oh yeah, we don't. What? One moment.
Here are some of the best moments here this past week in Big Brother. I'm going to start off with the first best moment here, and I gotta give it up to Vanessa.
Okay,
all right,
sure.
She's her will is being carried out in the house. She is HOH. That's making it a little bit easier. But the challenge with her this week was getting Austin and the twins on board to not target Johnny Mac, but to target James and Meg. And she fed them some information that she just happened to forget about or that just happened.
It's like the secret code. It's like here's some information, they eat it up, and then they immediately turn into zombies, and then they're just like all about whatever she says.
She did it again, and you got Liz and you got Julia that are just buying it hook, line, and sinker, and she got them on board. And she's right; it's not in her best interest to target Johnny Mac, but she needs Austin and the twins on board. So she's positioned herself really well, where she's got 2 alliances. Yeah, she's got the she's got the Steve, the Johnny Mac, and her, and the twins and Austin and her, and she's targeting the people outside of the alliance. Doing a great job. I think one of the best moves of this week. Yeah, definitely she's created a brilliant buffer. Yeah. Another best move of the week would be James keeping up with his debauchery. He has found wow. See where this goes.
New ways to scare the house guests. And this one was climbing into the closet. I mean, I couldn't believe it. He did it while Johnny Mac was sleeping in the room, and then managed to still scare Liz. I just have to kind of slow clap this one because he did it in complete darkness, and he's got a lot of time to think about this kind of stuff. No night vision, Captain Camo's there, Paranormal Activity style. Scaring people left and right. I'm just impressed with the level of commitment for these pranks. Speaking of James, Nick, he wears that little kitty thing the whole time. I remember in the episode, I think this is right, that's Liz's hat. I didn't know that. He's wearing the whole time. I didn't know that either. Just as a little tidbit, little fact out there. Right, interesting. Hopefully it is Liz's hat. Otherwise, we'll have some of our interns get on that. That's all we have to do. We have to clear our throat, and that's it. Then they come running. Our third best moment. Third best moment would be Johnny Mac coming back in the game. Yes. And now, not just back in the game, but he's now in a pretty good spot next to Steve and Vanessa. Yep. So usually, what's happened in the past is that juror or the house guest leaves the house, and they win the competition. They come back as the evicted juror, and then they walk right back out the house because the house targets them. But he now seems like he might have some staying power. It's because he made a very wise choice, and he talked with Vanessa before he left and said, hey, if I do come back in, covering his bases, he said, I'm down to play a game with you. And if it weren't for that conversation, he probably would have been right back out again. Yeah. But sure enough, I mean, sometimes your worst enemy is your best friend in this game because no one suspects it. Another smart move by Johnny Mac and those best moments here this past week. You're looking at your Big Brother financial advisors to let you know who's playing a good game, whose stock you should buy, and who is on the way down, whose stock you want to sell. Again, you're making it rain. We haven't figured out if it's buy or sell. It's just fun to do. It is. All right, I'll start with who you should buy here. Yeah, sure. And listen, you can say what you want about Vanessa, but she's playing the best game of the summer. Buy some stock in Vanessa. Yeah. She has won the perfect HOH at the perfect time. She's flipped the script.
She said she's realigned the lines in the house, I guess. And she's put herself in a really great situation. She's got Austin and the twins. Looks like that's pretty solid right now.
Mm-hmm.
Got the Steve and the Johnny Mac side alliance. And then she's targeting the strongest player outside that alliance, James. Put herself in a really, really great spot. She looks like she is destined for at least the Final Four.
She has definitely proved herself to be a blue chip stock.
Yes.
Okay, and so we're just saying that if you have any extra cash shoved underneath your mattress, buried in jars in your backyard, scoop it out, put it into some Vanessa stock, and sure enough, you will have some sort of return.
We have some pretty
well.
savvy financial people out there watching right now. They keep their money under the mattress and in a jar. So, yes, listen to us for what to do with your money and invest in Vanessa.
Yeah, or like shoved underneath your couch. There's a lot of quarters under there. So here
I'm going to look under your couch afterwards.
Whoa. I did not say that out loud. I did not say that out loud.
I think I should do that right now.
Now, here's where you want to sell. This is a stock you want to liquidate as fast and as quickly as possible. And this is both Julia and Liz.
A double sell. Wow.
Yes, as a power couple, if you will, as a twin powerhouse, they are definitely next on the list. And this is us just looking 2 weeks down the road. They've aligned with Austin. They're a giant target. Whoever wins HOH next, the pendulum's only going to swing one way or the other. And if it's not one of those two or three, they're definitely going after them. Split them up. They're going down. You got to see that now. Sell.
They might be a little insulated from Austin. I feel like he might be the first victim there, but I think you're right. I think as a power alliance, I think that they are in everybody's crosshairs right now.
They also are getting to the point where they're a little power hungry, and they're starting to make moves that just don't make sense, and they're starting to expose themselves as not exactly the best game players.
And now that Liz is Austin's boo, Nick, I mean, maybe they're going to get complacent in the house.
Official.
They're official now. Congratulations, guys.
Yes.
Of course, we're all very happy for you guys. I think everyone out there except for Austin's girlfriend is probably pretty excited about that. Yes, so I would agree with that. Sell the twins. It looks like Vanessa is the one to buy. Bye. So far, everything she's touched has been... Everything she's targeted has been evicted here. So buy some Vanessa, sell some twins, and if Austin's girlfriend's out there, we're sorry. We didn't know.
We're just finance guys.
We would have warned you. We're just suits in an office.
Yeah.
We deal with money, and we do this a lot. That's it.
Big brother money.
That's it, yeah.
Deal with heart money.
Yeah. Those are our BB stock tips and our buy and sell.
So house guests do a terrible job when they're on the block trying to defend themselves before one of them is evicted. So Kevin and I have decided that we will enlist ourselves as public defenders to speak on behalf of the house guests on their way out the door.
Well, hopefully not. Hopefully we do our job. And at least we'll save one of them.
Yes, I'm not trying
to. If we were terrible and they both got evicted,
yes,
that would be bad. We would be fired.
Double eviction is coming up. Okay, I'm just saying that. Yeah. All right, and this is a segment that we call Lawyer Up.
There it is. Oh, let's get this.
Okay.
We really need to get more ties, probably.
Yeah,
was I wearing that one last week?
I think so. It's got your smell on it.
It smells of me.
Smell of failure.
I apologize. Ouch, jeez. It's really coming to me hard here.
That I am.
All right, here we go.
This week, we have two house guests on the block by the name of James and Meg. This week, I will be defending the one and only James.
That means I will be defending...
Okay, who would like to go first?
I don't know. I'll take it.
Okay.
All right. Everybody watching out there, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, and everybody watching at home,
mm-hmm.
You, and I'm talking to you right now who's watching this, have won as many competitions as Meg has won here this summer. All right? You, and yes, I'm talking to you who's looking at me right now, have won as many vetoes as Meg in the summer. You, and yes, I'm talking to you who's looking at me, have made as many game moves as Meg has made this summer. Why would you evict somebody that is just hanging out in the Big Brother house and has no aspirations of winning the game? Keep Meg in the house, evict James.
While you do make a great point, let's think about who James is. Okay, now this is a guy who likes to play pranks on people. This is a guy who could potentially be in your corner. So right now is the time to make those deals that will take you to the Final Four. So if you want to keep someone around in the house, make sure they're a strong enough player to secure your spot in the Final Four. Meg, she's gorgeous, but it's time to eliminate the players who just can't let you go all the way to the end.
If you're sleeping out there, would you want someone pouring honey in your mouth? That's what Nick's client did to poor Steve. That's not a prank. That's just mean.
Objection! It was gluten-free.
Damn it. All right. Overruled. Whatever the...
Abstain? I don't know if that is...
Abstain. We need to learn the lawyer speak.
I don't know anything about
Yes,
it.
his pranks are... Listen, you evict James, we don't have to see these dumb pranks anymore. It was funny for a little bit. It's getting old. I don't know why CBS continues to show them. It's the same prank over and over again. And in closing, you go to New York with Meg, she'll get you drunk. And she might even hit on you. All right? She's made that very clear to Clay. She'll do that for you. She's not playing Big Brother. She's hanging out for the summer. All right? Keep her in the house one more week, and then you can get rid of her. James, it's time to go, buddy.
In my closing statement, I will say this. James is somebody who has fought hard this entire summer to stay in the house. That is the kind of courage that you want to keep inside of the house, as well as a strong player that you could not only play pranks with in the Final Four. Don't think, that's fun. You would want to do that once, the stress is tough in the Final Four. It's tough, man. Meg's pretty cool. Man, that's tough. But anyways, think about it. Just consider the fact that James is also a cool guy, and you guys, you could talk about riding four-wheelers and such once you're in the Final Four together.
Very casual closing argument right there.
Yeah.
That was nice.
That's pretty good.
I said my piece. All right. Meg's not playing the game. She's not going to win Big Brother. James might. Big James. That's all I have for you.
I can't officially agree with you, but
Yeah. That was our Lawyer Up segment. We'll see how much that helped either of the house guests.
Okay, so that was we didn't know who was going to say what. I just went with it.
Well,
that was good. Yeah.
That's it, guys. That's our episode
and
this
wrap.
week. Yeah, there'll be a ton of great stuff coming up this week. I'm pumped to see what happens. We're getting down to it right here. And if you've missed any of our interviews, we've had every evicted house guest on the show except for Davon. Check them out right here. We're going to be doing this here until this show is done. A lot of fun stuff to get to.
And Kev, where can we find you?
At KevSoup on Twitter and KevSoup.com.
Perfect. You can find me at Nick Uhas. And Kev, what's going to happen this week? What are your predictions?
Unfortunately, I think my man James is going to go. The only thing I can see saving James is for James himself to win the veto, or if Meg is picked and she somehow wins a comp, pulls James off, then I think Austin might go, or then I think Vanessa might go after Austin.
Here's my prediction, okay? I think James will win veto, and then Vanessa will replace that nominee with herself, and then everyone will evict her, and J-Mac will win the game.
Wow, you're blowing my mind right there. If that happens, you heard it here first. Give this man credit for that prediction. It's going to be one of those two things.
Yeah, one of those.
There's no other variables.
One or the other. I think you're probably right. If it comes down to it and the nominations say the same, James is going home. Everybody wants to keep Meg around. I mean, she's the perfect person to take the final two because she hasn't done a whole lot. And you up against anything, her up against you, and any sort of competition, any jury member will decide, obviously you.
I think so, too.
I think it's James's toast.
Bye, James. And thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching, guys.
See you guys next week.
If you like this video, click here to subscribe. New videos every week.